Welcome back. We're on lesson 12, translation, reflection, and rotation, 8.10c. Today we're going to review the top three of the transformations that we have already taught. So that will be translation, reflection, and rotation. Remember, we start with the first one. Translation is a slide of a figure. That means you're moving a figure either left, right, or up, down on a coordinate plane. We always use a tic-tac-toe chart like this to represent the slide, the way that you slide, and the operation that you will do. Translation, you will always either add or subtract because you move the shape left, right, up, down by units, right? So when you go right, it will be x plus. When you go left, it will be x minus. When you go up, it will be y plus. When you go down, it will be y minus. And translation will always preserve congruency because you're moving a shape left, right, up, down. The shape, the figure will not change by size. And the orientation also stay the same because you did not flip it or rotate it. Second one will be reflection. Reflection is a flip. It's like you looking at yourself in the mirror. You and your mirrored image will face to the opposite way, facing to each other. But the size, everything will change, will stay the same. But when you reflect it over the x-axis, the x has been locked. Nothing will change, but y will change to the opposite. Remember, negative will never representing for negative only. It would represent for opposite, the opposite. So the same thing for y-axis. If your line for reflection is y-axis, that means your y stay the same and your x will change to the opposite. Again, like what we said, reflection is a flip. That means pre-image and image will be congruent. But the orientation has changed because you flip the figure either over the x-axis or y-axis. The pre-image and image will face to the opposite way. Like you looking at yourself in the mirror, you and your mirrored image are facing to the opposite way, right? And the third one is rotation, which we have three different types of rotation. We actually got four. 360 is going back to the original. Nothing will change. But we always focus on 90, 270, 180, and 270. Three different types of rotation. 90-degree clockwise is the same as 270 counterclockwise, which y will stay the same and x will go to the will change to the opposite. Remember, you need to flip your x and y. And then 180 will be the same, which will be opposite x and opposite y. And then 270 clockwise will be 90 counterclockwise. They're the same. And then the rule will be opposite y and x. Just remember the first one, 90 clockwise. Flip your x and y. X change first. And then the last one, 270 clockwise. Flip your x and y, and then y change to the opposite. Pre-image image will be congruent again. Orientation should change because you rotate a figure. Like if you have a rectangle like this, 90-degree, it will face to another way, right? And then we'll talk about dilation in the next lesson. Look at your example number 1, a circle is graphed on a coordinate plane with its center at -4 and I guess this is 7. Sorry, this question's not it's not complete. The circle will be translated P units to the right and V units, it should be down, okay? P units to the right and V units down. So we know it's a what? Keyword is translation, right? So number 1, step 1, you have to identify the transformation, right? So step 1, identify the transformation. So in this case, we should already know it's translation. So if you go back to your translation, if you did your cheat sheet before you do your test, you should know we use tic-tac-toe chart, right? So in this case, we need to create our tic-tac-toe chart. And remember, x and y, add or subtract. Go to the right is x plus, left is x minus, up is y plus, down is y minus. And we should know right here in the question to give us p units to the right. So it's what? P units to the right, which will be what? X plus p. So x plus p. And then v units down, which is going down v, is what? Y minus v. Y minus v. And then what number is my original order pair, which is what? -4 and 7. So when you substitute that, it will be a -4 plus p and then 7 minus v. Then you should be able to find out which one is your answer. Answer choice G is correct. Example number 2, we have triangle RST is rotated. Okay, this is my keyword again. Step 1 is identify keyword, which is what? Transformation, right? And then step number 2 is just find a rule. Easy as that. We should know it's 270 counterclockwise. It should be the same as what? 90 clockwise. If you can write it down like this, you should know, okay, 90 clockwise. Oh, I remember. This one should be the top one. Top one is what? Y and X go flip first, and then X change to the opposite, right? So that will be your rule, which will be Y and opposite X. Example number 3, they do give you 4 different coordinate plane as your answer choices. Same thing, you have to read and identify the transformation. Triangle HJK is graphed on the coordinate grid and will be transformed using the rule XY converted to change to opposite X and Y. Okay, so if you know this, corresponding to the chart that we know, which one logged, which one stayed the same, why? So it should be a what? Reflection over the y-axis. So that's y stay the same, right? Y stay the same. Y is the mirror. So if here y is the mirror, the supreme image, where will be your image? It's gonna be in quadrant 2, right? So which one should be correct? There we go. Or if you don't really understand how do you get this one, you can also use the rule. So for example, on K, you can write the order pair, which is 6 and 1. If you use the rule, this one will be a what? Opposite X, which will be opposite 6, and Y stay the same, and 1. So if you go back and graph it, opposite 6 and 1, it will be K prime like here. So that means your K should still going to be over here in quadrant 2, right? Same thing. Okay, thank you.